Hello, everyone. So I wanted to just give you a very quick tour of MathUP. So this is the dashboard that you enter when you log in. This front matter, it's some interesting stuff, things like professional development, some support, but the main elements that you want to get comfortable and familiar with are the menu options above. So when you select grades, for example, you have access to all the material for kindergarten to grade 8. When you select activities, a lot of these grade activities are extension activities or fun thinking activities. Great to investigate if you're looking to have a few lessons that are, you know, beyond the 3-part lesson, or if you want to ensure that you have extension tasks ready and available for your students, etc. The professional development menu is excellent. A lot of topics, almost overwhelmingly so. This is definitely something that I would delve into after, maybe in the summer when you have some downtime, just to explore the philosophy of MathUP and the main focus of Miriam Small's how to teach math kind of elements. There's a lot of videos, which is great. You can put them on 2 times speed and really get the gist of things. If you're looking for something specifically, again, a lot of opportunity to explore in this particular menu. And same with resources, the curriculum, materials, tools, all of those. Again, these two, I would definitely take some time in the summer to build in exploration, just to get more comfortable with the philosophy behind MathUp. So let's kind of delve into grades. So when you go into grades, for example, let's just select a grade, grade 2. What you're going to notice is you're going to notice that all of the lessons are organized by topic. So this is not necessarily the scope that and the sequence that you're going to go through. What you can do is you can select a path. So this is what I would encourage you and your teaching partner to do: is explore the 3 paths that are there that are options. Explore how they've rearranged or reorganized the topics, the unit topics in each of the paths, and see either which path works best for you as a teaching team, or which path, maybe is speaks to you more. So a few things to note: the units with the asterisks have prerequisite topics. So when they've designed path A, B, and C, they've designed it so that every unit that has an asterisk, they ensure that the prerequisite topic happens before, either 1 unit before or 2 units before. What's really great about MathUp is if you're finding that path A, B, and C, or they have these combined grade paths, but if path A, B, and C aren't working for you, you can create your own path. So let's create a path, HTS 2024, 2025, grade 2. So let's say grade 2, let's say that's the path we want to create. So we can edit this path. Now, editing, what does that mean? Well, it means we can shuffle units around. We can rearrange things to make sure that the pathway or the sequence of units reflects how we're going to be teaching it. So let's say I wanted to do patterning and algebra first. I have to be very careful because when I press this, it suggests that the meaning of addition and subtraction should be a prerequisite for the algebra. So maybe I'm not going to put algebra there. Maybe I'm going to put counting first with representing whole numbers, estimating whole numbers. Maybe the meaning of adding and subtracting small numbers. Maybe I'm going to leave it at that. And then I'm going to put in my algebra, and maybe I'll put in my patterns, my algebra, my location and movement and coding. And then maybe I'm going to put in something like data and get data in there so that I know that probably around Christmas time, I'm doing something fun and interesting with my students with some probability. Again, I've not taught grade 2, so this is all fiction at this point. And then maybe I'm going to put my fractions, knowing those are a little bit more complicated for students, maybe toward the end where they're more mature, etc. Again, this is completely up to you. Ultimately, as you reorganize your pathways, you can you can kind of design it the way you want. When you open up your units, you can also click which lessons you are going to keep. And it will tell you, okay, you've got 2 out of 2. Let's say for representing whole numbers, we're going to do these few, but we might not worry about even and odds, and we're going to do this one, for example. So again, I'm doing 4 out of 5. That's why you see the line there. It's not covering everything, but I might be covering that in a different project or assignment I'm doing. So this is what you can work with your teaching partner on. What would be really valuable is if not only working with your teaching partner to set the pathway, but when you're selecting which lessons to keep out and which lessons to keep in, speaking to the teaching pair that teach the grade below you, as well as the teaching pair that teach the grade above you, to talk about consistency so that students are getting every single one of the core or foundational skills that they need to be successful in future grades and that they need to be successful in your grade. So once you've designed your path, you can set it as an active path. It is now the path that will come in, and you'll see it right here, the title. You can delete it, we're saving it, which is great, but you can always edit it at any time, which is really, really valuable. Okay, so that's the general overview. Now, when we go into each unit, some of them are larger than others. We have 2 main lessons. Each unit starts with a diagnostic task and ends with an assessment of learning. The lessons themselves, the 3-part lessons, take about 60 minutes a piece. And Miriam Smalls, in one of her PD videos, does talk about pacing. So that is something you want to look at. Now, you don't have to engage these lessons in exactly the way Miriam Smalls has outlined. You know your students, you can be flexible in that. This program allows for that flexibility. But let's go into the first lesson, for example. The planning section is really great for you as the teacher to understand the whole point of the lesson, to understand its connection to curriculum, the assessments, all of these elements. That's really, really important. But the bulk of the lesson itself, in terms of executing that lesson, is in the Minds On, Action, and Consolidate section. So that's the 3-part lesson, the Minds On, Action, Consolidate. So Minds On, what you're going to notice about the platform is there's a lot of preamble. This preamble is for you, the teacher. What you're going to see is you're going to see that anything for the student is primarily in this pink, or anything that has to be engaged in that lesson itself during the implementation of that lesson is in this pink, these pinks kind of boxes. So again, this is instructions for you. How are you going to engage this in that moment? Then what you're going to see is anytime you see this little icon, these are things that you can project on the screen for students, or you can even link. So for example, I could project this on the screen for the students. They spin the spinner, count from the number we spin, count by the number I say, take turns saying the numbers. So this is the instruction the students would get. And this is the Minds On piece. Then it explains, after doing this, this is what you do. Next, you do this. Then you do this. Then ask students this. So it's very much a step-by-step guide on how to implement this lesson. And this is just the Minds On part. This is getting students comfortable with thinking in math terms along this particular topic. When you continue into the action section, again, a lot of preamble, a lot of these pieces are for you as the teacher to understand how to implement. Again, the process focus, the success criteria, really valuable, something that, would be really valuable for students to have. You can make it visible, you can include it in Toddle, a lot of options there. But this is the action task. Provide students with access to the 200s chart. The first students to do this task use the first 4 starting numbers, give students opportunities to count by 1s, 2s, 5s, and 10s. Second time students do the task, use the second 4 starting numbers, give students opportunities to count by 1s, 2s, 5s, 10s, 20s, 25s, and 50s, etc. So again, you are posting, or you are projecting this 200s chart. Now, Where is this material? This is in the materials section of the actual lesson, and I'll show you where that is. So here, it actually gives you the questions on how to guide your students through this action. So here on the right-hand side, you're going to see the materials and the tools. All this, the spinners are here for you, the 200 chart, the counters, all of the elements are here for you. So you are definitely prepared. You don't have to go to an external resource to find any of this stuff. Okay, so once that action is done, and you have all the answers here for you, these are elements that you can do to differentiate the task. If there's a situation that comes up, you can prepare yourself by reading these post-amble things. Then after the actual lesson, you go into consolidate. Consolidate is an opportunity for students to take their experience with that mathematics and build generalizable principles of mathematics. So again, a lot of information for you. Why is this important? And then a process for how you engage this consolidate question or this consolidate sections. Again, you're projecting for the students if you would like to, and you're showing those questions. There is the assessment for learning. Hopefully they're working on those consolidation questions, and really the continue to your turn. What's valuable about this is two things. The key terms and this portion here where you can link it or you can project it. This really provides a summary of the general principles for this concept. So let me go into that again. That's what you've learned, but here is the general principles. Okay. And what you're going to see is that a lot of the lessons in the Your Turn appear in the practice and reflect manual. So students would be doing that on their own. There's also a lot of opportunities to extend this. If students go through it much quicker than you expect, they can engage in other activities as well. And you can provide those games, puzzles, all those types of activities. Okay. So that's the basics of the three-part lesson. I'm probably not doing it justice. By all means, do your own research in this. I'll provide some YouTube videos that really show the three-part lesson in action. Okay, so that's the basics of the dashboard. By all means, explore, but remember your grade section, setting up your pathway, and really understanding how to engage these specific lessons is kind of a primary piece for you all.